So we know you're here because you want more than just a quick summary. You're balancing a busy life, and you want actionable knowledge you can use right away.
And today we're tackling a big one, English fluency.
A really big one. And
Mhm.
specifically, we're talking to you if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like the only way to get fluent is to, I don't know, quit your job and move to London.
Right, this myth that you need total immersion, or, on the flip side, that you need to spend hours every single night with a grammar book.
Yeah.
I mean, who has the time or energy for that?
Exactly. It just doesn't work for most of us. So today, our mission is to completely reframe how you think about learning English. We've gone through a ton of sources and we've pulled out the smartest, low effort strategies. We're looking for habits, not homework.
That's the core idea.
Yeah.
You don't need more time, you need smarter time. We're going to break down a really powerful technique called shadowing.
And then we're diving into 5, let's call them pillars of daily practice. Really specific hacks like what to do with your phone and why you absolutely need to start talking to yourself.
It sounds strange, but it works. We're going to show you how to build real confidence in the little gaps in your day, your commute, while you're making dinner those 5 minutes before bed.
So let's jump in and start by tearing down that biggest mental barrier of all, the confidence myth.
Yes, Les, because this is the starting point, the psychological hurdle. So many people believe their location determines their success.
You have to be in London or New York or Sydney to really learn.
Exactly. And the sources we looked at are pretty vehement in challenging that. It's an outdated model. It creates this immense pressure that, actually paralyzes people before they even start.
So if you don't need to physically be there, what's the substitute? What does the research say actually works instead of that kind of high-intensity immersion?
It comes down to two things, consistency and deliberate integration.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
The research is clear. A focused 5-minute practice that you do every single day is way more effective than a single 3-hour study session on a Sunday afternoon.
Right, because you just burn out.
You burn out, and you forget everything by Tuesday. The goal isn't time spent studying, it's frequency of meaningful exposure. It's about making English feel less like a foreign subject and more like a comfortable, natural tool you can reach for.
And that idea of comfortable and natural is a perfect lead-in to this technique you mentioned, shadowing. I've heard the term, but let's really break it down. What is it exactly?
It's so simple, but its effect on the brain is, well, it's profound. At its core, you're listening to someone speaking English.
Like a podcast or an audiobook?
Yep, anything. A podcast, a news clip, a short story. And you try to repeat what they're saying as they're saying it.
Oh, wait, so not after they finish a sentence, you're talking at the same time.
Almost at the same time, like an echo that's just a split second behind the original voice. And here's the most important part. You are not just copying the words. You're trying to copy everything. The speed, the rhythm, the intonation, how their voice goes up and down, even the pauses. You're mimicking the music of the language.
That sounds hard. If I'm trying to say the words that fast, I won't have time to actually understand what they mean. Isn't that a problem?
That's a fantastic question because that's actually the whole point.
It is.
Yes, shadowing is about process over understanding. The moment you stop to think, what does that word mean? You've already lost the rhythm. You're back in the analytical translation part of your brain.
And that's the slow part.
That's the slow part. Shadowing forces you to bypass that. It's training the physical parts of speaking. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw, to move in an English way. It's building muscle memory.
So you're learning the feel of the language, not just the rules.
Precisely. You're learning what linguists call supersegmentals.
Okay, that sounds a little technical. Break that down.
It just means the things beyond the individual sounds. It's the stress, the rhythm. Think about how in English we don't say every word with the same force. Some words are pushed forward and some are sort of swallowed.
Like how going to becomes gonna.
Exactly. You will never learn to say gonna naturally by analyzing a grammar rule. You learn it by hearing it and copying it 100 times. Shadowing trains your brain and mouth to treat gonna as one single smooth sound, not two separate words.
I see. So it helps you overcome that that awkwardness of making sounds that aren't in your native language.
Yes, the sound, the difference between ship and sheep, all those little things. Just 5 minutes a day of this kind of mimicry, focusing only on the sound, can make your speaking noticeably faster and clearer within just a few weeks. It's a tiny habit with a massive payoff.
That really is a huge return on investment. Okay, so that sets the stage perfectly. We know we need consistency and we have a core technique. Let's get into how we build this into a life that's already, completely chaotic. Let's talk about the 5 core pillars of practice.
Right. And these pillars are designed to solve the biggest problems we hear from learners. I have no time and I'm too nervous to speak. This system creates a loop. Input feeds output, and output builds confidence.
Okay, so where do we start? Pillar number 1.
Pillar one is the absolute foundation. Listen, every day. The sources couldn't be clearer on this. It is the non-negotiable first step.
So if you want to speak better, you have to listen more. Why is that daily input so critical?
Because you can't produce what you don't have in your head. Listening builds the reservoir of language that you can draw from. And I mean real-world listening, not just the slow, perfect audio from a textbook.
Right.
Daily listening is how you pick up vocabulary and context, how you internalize the real rhythm of conversations, and how you train your ear to understand English when it's spoken at normal, sometimes very fast speeds.
So what should people be listening to? If you're an intermediate learner, do you just jump into a complex political podcast and hope for the best?
No, that can be really discouraging. You want to find something that's what linguists call comprehensible input,
Meaning?
meaning it should be just a little bit challenging. If you understand 100%, you're not learning. If you only understand 10%, you're just hearing noise. The sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. Maybe you understand 60 or 70%.
Okay, so what are some good examples of that?
Podcasts designed for learners are great.
Oh.
English music is fantastic. Short YouTube videos on a topic you love. The key is that the sources say you don't even need to be paying full attention.
Really?
Really. Make English your background music. Put it on while you're cooking, cleaning, driving. Just 10 or 15 minutes a day. Even if you're only half listening, your subconscious is absorbing the patterns, the sounds, the flow.
So you're saying I don't need to sit down with a notepad. Just having it on is enough to start.
It's a powerful start.
Yeah.
Because it makes the sound of English familiar and comfortable to your brain.
Okay, that feels very doable. So if listening is the input, the fuel, then pillar 2 must be the output.
It is. Pillar 2 is shadow what you hear. It's the natural next step. You take a small piece of what you were just listening to, maybe a minute or two, and now you actively engage your voice.
You're turning passive listening into active practice.
Exactly. You're taking that smooth, natural speech you just absorbed, and you're forcing your own mouth to try and replicate it.
And repetition is key here, right? It's not just saying the sentence once.
Not at all. Repeating the same phrase a few times, really trying to match the speaker's rhythm, is how you build that muscle memory we talked about. It's like practicing scales on a piano. It makes the movements automatic, so in a real conversation, you don't have to think so hard about how to say something. You can just say it.
It becomes smoother, more natural. I get it. Okay, this brings us to pillar number 3. And this one, for me, this is where things get really transformative.
I agree. This is a huge cognitive shift.
It's the idea of think in English one thought at a time.
Yes. This is how you break the translation habit. Most learners are stuck in this loop. They hear English, translate it to their native language, think of a reply, translate that reply back into English, and then speak.
It's exhausting just hearing you describe it, and it explains why conversations feel so slow and stuttered.
It's a massive processing delay. The goal here is to build a direct bridge in your mind between a thing or an idea and the English word for it. You cut out the middleman, your native language.
But that sounds really intimidating. If I'm used to thinking very complex thoughts in my native language, how do I even begin to think in English?
You start incredibly small. The sources are very specific about this. Don't try to have an internal debate about philosophy. Just narrate your immediate reality.
Give me some of those concrete examples.
Okay, you wake up in the morning. Your first thought in English is, it's morning. I'm sleepy. I need coffee.
Simple. Very simple.
That's the point. You're walking outside. You think to yourself, the sky is blue. It's cold today. I see a dog. You're just labeling your world directly in English. During the day, it's, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want to go home.
You're building these foundational, simple sentence structures without the pressure of a conversation.
Exactly. And then the next step is to start saying them. Just whisper them. When you're making coffee, whisper, I need coffee.
Yeah.
It feels a little silly at first, but you are physically reinforcing that direct connection between the thought and the spoken English word.
You're basically turning all those little moments of downtime, waiting for the elevator, standing in line, into micro practice sessions.
You are. And you're proving to your brain that English isn't just a subject you study. It's a tool you use to navigate your life.
That's a powerful shift, which leads us right into our next section. We're moving from these internal habits to how you can actively live with English.
Yes, the idea that English can't just be something you do on Monday nights for an hour.
Yeah.
To get fluent, it has to become part of the fabric of your day, like checking your email.
Okay, so let's talk about pillar number 4, read aloud. We've talked about shattering, which is audio-based. Why is reading aloud a separate, necessary skill?
Because it connects a different set of dots in your brain. When you read silently, you're recognizing words. That's great for vocabulary. But it does zero for your pronunciation or speaking fluency.
Right, your mouth isn't doing any of the work.
None. Reading aloud forces your eyes, your brain, and your mouth to all work together in sync. Your mouth and tongue have to physically practice forming the shapes for the words your eyes are seeing. It's a workout for your speaking muscles.
So what should people be reading? Same principle, not too hard.
Exactly. Don't grab a Shakespeare play. Start with things that have clear, simple sentences. Children's books are amazing for this. Short news articles for learners. Even the transcript of a podcast episode you just shadowed.
And the sources had a really cool technique for this, the actor technique. Can you explain that?
I love this one. It's a 3-step process. First, you read a short passage slowly, just focusing on getting every single sound right. Pure pronunciation. Second, you read it again, but faster. You try to build up a natural conversational pace.
And the third step.
The third step is you read it like an actor. You add emotion, you add expression, you perform it. Imagine you're on a stage.
Why is adding the emotion so important?
Because that's how people actually talk.
Yeah.
We use intonation and stress to convey meaning and feeling. Practicing this helps you move beyond a flat, robotic delivery and builds huge confidence. You're not just reciting words, you're communicating.
That's fantastic. Okay, so now we get to pillar 5, which is really a collection of super practical, low-effort hacks, the tools for the busiest people.
These are the game changers, the things you can do to surround yourself with English without scheduling any extra time in your day.
Let's start with hack number 1. Change your phone's language settings to English. This feels almost too easy. Does it really work?
The power here is in the sheer repetition. Think about it. How many times a day do you unlock your phone? Dozens. 100. Every time you do, you're getting a microdose of functional, modern vocabulary. Words like settings, notifications, airplane mode, update, download, delete. These are words you use every day.
You're learning them in context naturally instead of from a boring list in a textbook.
Without even trying, your brain just absorbs them because they're useful.
Brilliant. Okay, hack number 2. This one is about output. Write a short diary every night.
And the key here is short. The sources say just 3 sentences, 5 minutes max. The goal is to get you to use the language relevant to your day.
So I'm not writing about some fictional character. I'm writing, today I went to work, I had a long meeting, I am tired.
Precisely. You are practicing the exact grammar and vocabulary you actually need to talk about your own life. Simple past tense, common verbs. You're reinforcing the structures that matter most, and you're anchoring them to your real experiences.
That makes a ton of sense. Now, hack number 3 is one the source is highlighted as maybe the most powerful self-awareness tool. Record a 1-minute voice message.
This is a huge one for breaking through plateaus. You just open the voice memo app on your phone and talk for 60 seconds about anything. Your day, your plans for the weekend, what you had for lunch.
And the crucial part is, no one else ever has to hear this.
That's the magic. The fear of being judged completely disappears, so you can speak more freely. But the real work happens when you listen back.
Which can be a little painful, I imagine.
It can be, but it's also incredibly valuable. You'll immediately hear the mistakes you're making consistently. Maybe you always forget the "es" on third-person verbs, or maybe you pronounce a certain vowel sound incorrectly.
You become your own teacher.
You do. You can't fix a mistake you're not aware of. This little 1-minute recording gives you instant objective feedback. It's a massive accelerator for fluency.
I love that. Okay, moving on to hack number 4. Join an online English speaking group.
This is about making English a living social tool, not just an academic subject. Think about a WhatsApp or Telegram group, or maybe a dedicated Facebook group for learners.
So it brings in the community aspect, but without the pressure of a live conversation.
Exactly. The communication is asynchronous. That's the key.
What do you mean by that? Why is that so helpful?
It means you don't have to respond instantly. In a live chat, you might panic. In a Telegram group, someone asks a question, and you can take 5–10 minutes to think about your answer, check your grammar, and write a really good response.
So you're practicing crafting higher quality sentences, which builds confidence for when you do have to speak in real time.
Precisely. And even if you're too shy to write at first, just reading the conversations other learners are having is incredibly valuable. You're exposed to real, everyday language.
Great. And that brings us to the final one, hack number 5, which leverages something we're probably all doing anyway: watch short videos.
Yes, think TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. This is basically a fun, modern version of shadowing. The videos are only 30 or 60 seconds long, which makes them perfect for repetition.
So you're not just passively scrolling. What's the active part of the practice?
You find a short video you like. Watch it once or twice just to understand it. Then you start to work with it. Pause after each sentence or phrase and repeat it out loud.
Ah, so you're mimicking the speaker.
Exactly. You're trying to copy their speed, their tone, their casual way of speaking. This is how you learn the super fast connected speech that native speakers use, which you almost never hear in a formal lesson. It's shadowing, but in these tiny, fun, bite-sized pieces.
This whole approach really changes the game. It takes away the guilt of not having 2 hours to sit down and study.
It's all about frequency, not duration. The secret is turning all these little daily actions into opportunities. Use English for your to-do list. Say good morning to yourself in English. Small swaps.
And those small swaps build the strong habits. And the habits are what create confident speakers.
Exactly. When English is on your phone, in your journal, in your own head, it stops feeling like homework. It just becomes part of your life. And that's when fluency really starts to feel effortless.
So to bring this all together for you, the person listening right now, it all comes back to these high-frequency, low-effort practices. Start by just listening every day. Commit to that 5-minute habit of thinking in English. And get over the fear and use that 1-minute voice recording to hear yourself.
Forget the myth that you need to move abroad. Fluency is built right where you are, in the dead time of your day, one repeated sentence at a time. The habits we've laid out today make real rapid progress possible for anyone.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to take away. The sources all suggest that the biggest breakthroughs come from the smallest, most consistent changes. So, here's the question. If you could instantly change one daily habit today, your phone language, your morning internal monologue, or that 1-minute voice diary, which single one would unlock the most passive learning and critical self-awareness for you right now?
Pick that one thing, just one, and start it today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.